does give them a chance to play because they're competing against other players like themselves. They're not competing against new, up-and-coming kids and upstarts who are hungry for it and who've got the level of micro and mechanics that are required to compete these days. And Savior does have the Hydralisk out, but it looks like he's probably going to lose an Overlord in the middle to the Sarah. He also managed to take out the probe of Anytimes that is scouting. Savior circling with the Zerglings around, trying to get up that ramp and sneak into Anytime space for a little bit of harass. Managed to catch a Zealot in the middle, though. He's going to take that Zealot out. Zealot sniped. The second Zealot is going to get sniped as well. Anytime with some poor micro, and Savior sharp here, taking that. And I think it's important for Savior, before that MSL, that he does play, that he does continue to play in the Pro League and just keep his sharpness up, and keep his mechanics up, because that is crucial. I don't think you can just switch on and switch off just like that if you haven't been playing for a while. There is such a thing as match fitness. We see it in all sports. It is a feature of every single sport that you play. It's you can have the talent, you can have the skill, and you know, you guys might wonder why that is. Why is it that a player who's so good, who hasn't, it's not just about practice. You can practice all day long at home or against your partners in your Pro League house, in your Pro Team house, but it's just not the same. Savior now putting a couple of seconds on. Anytime looks like he's moving up, putting a bit of pressure on Savior. He's got about 4 Dragoons and a couple of Zealots, and he knows that he needs to put pressure on Savior early on because he's behind, and Savier's going to manage to sneak that Zergling into Anytime's base, and he's going to see Anytime's got the 4 or 5 gateways, and Anytime, obviously, once he'd gotten that Overlord out of his base, but ramped up the macro and the production, and Savior now might be in a little bit of trouble. He's putting a couple of Sun Guns down, and Savior has been caught off guard by this, and he doesn't anticipate this, so he's going to have a little bit of a tough time defending this, because he anticipated that Anytime would go for the tech build, but Anytime has obviously gone for an all-in attack here, realizing that he was not going to be able to catch up in tech, and he's gone for basically Zealots and Dragoons, and Savior in a lot of trouble, at risk of losing his natural expo. Now he's got a couple of Zerglings out, he's got drones as well, fighting against those Zealots, and it looks like Savior should be able to hold this defense. He's just produced Zerglings. The moment he saw those Dragoons come out, he produced bunches of Zerglings. He's taken all the Zealots out, and without the Zealots to form a wall in front of the Dragoons, Anytime isn't really going to have a chance. Anytime has managed to take out the, and Savior's got a Lurker in play as well. Anytime has managed to take out the Sun Guns. Meanwhile, Savior with a couple of Lurkers heading towards Anytime's base, and Anytime doesn't really have anything at the, he's building a couple of cannons, but they aren't up yet, and that is going to leave his ramp exposed. But Savior, and Savior's coming with the Zerglings, which are speed upgraded up the ramp. He's going to just try and get in range of those Photon Cannons and take them down before they can get up, using the Zerglings as a buffer, but the first Photon Cannon does go down. Savior has managed to get some Zerglings in there, but he's also lost one of the Lurkers, and he's going to be forced to pull back and abort this attack. But he's still in a very strong position. Anytime, really, and unfortunately, guys, this hasn't been the greatest of StarCraft games. Excuse me. Anytime, once he got that hijack of his gas by Savior, has just really not been in the game at all. And once again, Savior's not. It just doesn't look like a contest. There was that brief window where Anytime looked like he was going to catch Savior off guard by surprise, and he did surprise Savior, because Savior didn't see Anytime coming, and he only just hastily put down those 2 Sun Guns and produced masses of Zerglings just in the nick of time. And if Savior had had his larvae up for drones or anything else, he would have been in huge trouble. But he was producing Lurkers anyway. He had his Lurker tech up, so he was comfortable in the end. And now he's going to be able to take this game out. He's now also managed to get a drone through, and is taking the hatchery to take that double gas for his 3rd and 4th gas, and it's just only a matter of time before he closes this game out. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever been to watch a live game. It's not so apparent in StarCraft, but if you watch any other sport, if you've been to a live cricket match or football or American football or rugby or anything, when you actually go and watch it on the pitch, and cricket and I think bat sports like baseball and cricket, tennis are better examples of this. You realize how quickly the action actually unfolds, and how little time the players have to react, and literally it's just down to your reflexes. It's not about thinking what I'm going to do now and doing it. You just have to literally think almost subconsciously about your gameplay, and the decisions you make are just heavy macro decisions. Again, people who play StarCraft at a high level will know all about this, that most of your decision making is reflex, and it's all down to skill, and it's very little that you do actual active thinking. It's just your overall game plan that you think about, and those sort of snap decision making under pressure, that only comes at Anytime making another push out for Savior, this time again with Dragoons, but this time Savior is well defended. He's got his defenses up. He's got about 5 Sun Guns in place, and Anytime is not really going to be able to do anything to this massive defensive Savior. He's got Lurkers in place as well as Zerglings. Savior just trying to get a surround and get a snipe on a couple of Dragoons, but Anytime doing a good job of his Zealots to hold Savior up. But really, Anytime needed to have High Templar to support that army to be able to do any level of damage to Savior. Savior. Savior with 5 Sunkens up, 3 more creep colonies up, and anytime, only now building a Citadel of Ottoman. Savior's now got Mutalisk out as well, and he can just sit back and take his time finishing anytime off, and just circling on with those Zerglings, keeping anytime busy in the middle while he continues to cement his defense and his forces. And now with the Mutalisks heading out, and Savior now heading out towards Anytime's natural expo just outside his main. Anytime initially had taken, and Savior forces a cancel. I believe he forced to cancel at least a couple of photon cans, 3 photon cans cancel. The Nexus is still building, but Anytime is not going to build defense, and Savior's just going to rush up the middle of Anytime's base with Mutalisks and Zerglings. Anytime is going to go for a counter, but it's going to be quite ill-fated, and Anytime has nothing in his base to defend this against those Mutalisks. He just had a handful of photon cans that have been taken down very quickly, and now Savior focusing on the last photon cannon. Savior with about 8 creep colonies. Anytime rushing in. He's got an observer there. He's got a High Templar, I believe, as well. Storm on Savior's Mutalisk, but just doesn't have enough to break that sunken line and sunken wall. And Anytime's High Templar, I think there was one that managed to pop out, getting taken out. Although I don't see how he would have had the time to get it out. So maybe it was just a mistake by me. But now Anytime losing his natural expo as well. He's got a couple of Corsair. He's got a single Corsair out to fight against Savior's Mutalisk, but Savior's got so many Mutalisks now, and Anytime forced to come back with his Dragoons. And really, Savior's just got dominated this game completely, guys. But yeah, as I was saying, it's just things happen so quickly that being able to make those decisions in a match situation under pressure, and things like a little bit of nervousness, twitchiness in your hands, these kind of things make all the difference. You know, you could miss, even in a game of StarCraft, a slight click here, click there, half a millisecond more to click than you would normally take. Those are the kind of response times we're talking about that are the difference between winning against a top-class pro player and losing against a top-class pro player. And Savior, comfortable victory for him against Anytime. GG, guys, this is Klazart. Thanks for listening. Sorry it wasn't more entertaining, but these two guys are big names, or have been at least anyway. This is Klazart. Thanks for listening.